Hey ESGN Nation, and welcome back to another episode here on ESGNet for NCAA Football 14. And this is the Highland Scotties Team Builder Dynasty, and this is Scotties Sports Talk, episode number 50. And today we are in week 5. We have a bye week here, and episodes like this, we usually try to sit back and kind of reminisce about the first couple of weeks of the season, and of course take a look at the season ahead. With especially the Big 12 game coming up here that we have against Baylor in week 6, and of course show you guys some stats and stuff so far with the team, and talk about some of the key impact players for our team. Take a look at here. Florida State is your number 1 school in the nation. Right behind that is us at number 2. Michigan State, Ohio State, and Georgia round out the top 5. Notre Dame, USC, Michigan, Pittsburgh, and then Stanford, the former number 1 school in the nation, last week got defeated by Arizona State in a very close game there in overtime, 45-42. Arizona State was able to squeak out a win against the former number 1 team in the nation, now at number 10. Some other big upsets here too. We'll take a look here. The other one was Ohio. They're ranked, or not ranked actually at all, but Oklahoma was ranked. They were ranked number 4 in the nation. Now they're dropped down to number 11, losing to Ohio, and losing that one on the road there in a final score of 42-35. So that was a big upset there. And then also too, last week, University of Central Florida defeated Texas, beating Texas 31-14. That game was also a home game for Texas. So what is going on with a lot of schools last week there? I guess it was upset Saturday. I guess we didn't get that memo because we were able to be successful in our win against LSU. Of course, LSU now ranked number 16th, dropping down 3 spots to from number 13 last week, as they're taking on Mississippi State this week. But yeah, there was a lot of upsets there. Texas is one of those, and of course, like I mentioned, in a previous video, I think it was last episode, I'm going to mention again, Texas is one of the Texas Oklahoma. Yeah, they might have lost, but they are not down, and we're hoping that we'll be, at least this year, we'll play against Texas. It's one of the last, I think it's second to last game of the season. We're hoping that they'll be competitive down there when we go to Austin, and we can be able to put on a good show, just like we did just about a year ago for the national championship. So yeah, a bit of some shakeups there. Take a look at some of the teams that dropped out of the top 25. North Carolina, Minnesota, and Penn State were the ones that dropped out. Of course, others receiving some first place votes there. Penn State receiving the most, 260 first place votes. And we can see them possibly be in the top 25 once again at some point. But yeah, this was just a rough week for a lot of it looks like a lot of the top 15 schools in the nation for college football. Take a look at some of the players of the week here. Drew Kane. There's your player of the week. I did not know this, but week 2, Jasper Reed got the player of the game there. I gotta start watch this more often. Jasper Reed got the player of the week there. That was, of course, against Hawaii. Then the week before that, Shane Weaver got player of the game for his 9 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, and 3 sacks and a forced fumble there against Iowa. In the Big 12, player of the week there, you see Reed there for week 2. Of course, that great game that he had against Hawaii, which he had a total of 9 touchdowns in that game. Now, Jasper Reed has been talked about quite a bit there. I could consider him a dark horse candidate for the Heisman. He has the most passing touchdowns and the most interceptions of the season, and not to mention the most passing yards of the season. And I think the reason why a lot of people are saying that he is a dark horse, or maybe next year is his year, is probably because of his interceptions. He does have the most interceptions in the league, and in the NCAA. But if he did not have those interceptions, I really think he was somewhere close to maybe 2 or 3 interceptions this season. I think he would literally be a Heisman Trophy guy. But of course, he still has enough time to do so. Once we get into Big 12 play, we can start play against some. We got some teams that got a couple games like Baylor, Iowa State, and KU. Even Carolina. I think like KU gave us a rough go there a couple of years ago. I think it was just last season. I think we played them. They gave us a little bit of a scare. But I think with him, I think we just need to get some more rushing yards. Maybe we can. I've been really trying to figure out how to involve him in the the option. We're going to work on that. And of course, our issues right now in the backfield there is, of course, Alexander and Davison. We're trying to see which guy is going to take over. And really by the odds, if you look at their numbers there just a while ago, you can pretty much say, hey, well, which guy is going to take over? We haven't found that guy yet to take over in that position. As for wide receivers, Ramirez is our best wide receiver in yardage. Godfrey and Little are the best receivers in receiving touchdowns. They both have 6 apiece. Ramirez has the most receptions with 30 this season. I feel really good, feel comfortable with these guys here. Stone and Robinson. Stone is a senior, of course. He's been showing up pretty well in a lot of games. But Robinson, this kid, he has got some pretty. He finds himself open. He's not the biggest. He's not the tallest, or not the most impactful player. But he stays, kind of hidden back there, especially going for deep passes like that. He has some pretty good speed on him. And you seen there in that last game we just seen there with LSU, he got that deep pass there. No one ever, the defense completely lost track of him. That first time we tried to throw to him late in the game there, of course, we got picked off there by Taylor. But later on, he came back and got another, he got another attempt to get a deep pass, and he got into the end zone. So he's been doing that quite some time now. I think he did that even in the Hawaii game back in week 2. I'm really impressed with those guys, and especially our defense. Oh my God, I love our defense, and it seems like we're just getting better and better. We got these young guys in here right now who are just really doing a great job of stepping up. We got a lot of sophomores and some juniors really doing a great job here of stepping up. We got a few seniors, not that many, but we got some sophomores there just doing a great job. Russo's being one of those players there. DeSantos, Starks, Rizzo, who's a freshman. Weaver is our statesman there. He's our redshirt senior. So this defense is doing great. That's what's been pretty much keeping us in games. Because our offensive line is not the greatest. We have a lot of young players, we're trying. That's one of the things we're trying to work on. In the next bye week, which will be week 7, we'll talk more about the. I'll discuss more about what we're trying to do for scouting players in that field there. Because right now we got a couple players that I think here after this bye week going into week 6. And maybe even that next bye week coming up in week 7, we should have some players signed. So we're gonna wait on that because right now we just don't have anybody signed with us right now. But we got a few offensive linemen that could make that jump there, depending on how well we play against Baylor coming up. But there you see just the numbers there for the defensive side of the ball. Defense, just great players. Moore has just been really doing a great job there. He's just a junior redshirt. I thought he was a senior, but he's a junior redshirt, and he's been really. Coach Teddy Bonds, talking to him over this past week here during practice like that, and a lot of the practices before this, I've noticed that he is just doing a great job of being the guy on defense that a lot of guys look up to and listen to on the field. He is very boisterous. He has a good cadence on the field there defensively, and they really he does a really good job getting those guys ready to go and getting them fired up to go out there and play. Shane Weaver even said that he's a senior, and he plays, he's right outside linebacker there, and he's very impressed by this young man and what he can do. So just very, what we have so far there on defense, I'm just hoping that we'll just get better and better. We're not so much focused on the defensive side of the ball this year in scouting, but I think we'll at least talking to Coach Teddy Bonds there. He said that they will be looking to that when they get closer to the off season, and some of those summer recruits, they're going to look at adding some more depth to the defensive side of the ball. But right now they're more focused on the offensive line because the offensive line needs the depth. We don't have the depth that we've had in years past, and we're hoping that that'll be a different story coming up here for the season, for this upcoming season or this current season that we're in right now, when scouting some offensive linemen. Let's take a look here at some of the numbers there, just to look around the NCAA. And like I said, mentioned about, he has the most passing yards right now, 1,610 yards passing, the most right now. There's only 3 quarterbacks there, Davis and Grum, who are 1,000-yard passers this season. So Blackman there, you see he's getting close. So is Berman, Miles Berman from LSU there. He is getting close to be a 1,000-yard receiver. But I mean, if you think about it, 1,600 passing yards, he's played all 4 weeks. I mean, that tells you right there what type of player he is and what he has done. You have to be impressed by him. Now, I guess there a lot of people are going to put a lot of weight onto experience. This is really his first year playing full time as a QB. He is a pocket passer. He's not really known for his speed, but this young man, I mean, if he does not win it this year, I guess it's not a bad thing if he doesn't win it, but it'd be nice to see him at least in consideration, and maybe being, maybe at the finals there for the Heisman Trophy. But he's been putting up some good numbers here. There you see 20 touchdowns. I mean, Davis, Clifford, Berman, and Clark are the next ones that have double digits. Everybody else is pretty single digits. And this young man, he is just, Coach Teddy Vaughn's seen something from him. Had a red shirt him, about a year or so ago, so he could be able, to be able to have this opportunity to play, because we had so much of a logjam of QBs. He is going to be something that's going to be very, very something special. There's something special about this young man and what he can do on the field. And I'm really rooting for him to just have a breakout second half here. I guess it's not really a second half, but just a breakout, some breakout moments in the Big 12 there. And that interview that we had in the previous episode there, at the beginning of that episode, where Coach Teddy Bonds was talking about it. Coach Teddy Bonds, he's more about team focus. He wants the guys to look focused just on the team itself. And once if the team's doing good, then you'll start seeing individual awards. People start talking about the individuals on that team, and that's how the individual awards will come about. And he really truly believes that. I know, talking to Reed over this little break, this week break that they had during practice, like that, he was trying to just chuckle and said, it's kind of cool being mentioned about the Heisman. Would it be awesome for him to win the Heisman? His freshman year, be on the field, even though he's a sophomore in school. He said that would be awesome, but he likes he likes some of the attention that he's getting right now, but at the same time, he just wants to go out there and just play. And and that's what he's all about. He's out there wanting to play, and that's what he's showing. He's showing he's having fun, and he's not that prima donna type of quarterback here. Hopefully he doesn't turn that way, but so far it's been fun to play with. Now, does he have some issues with his passing game, reading them down the field, and not to mention the offensive line, still not the best, but as weeks are going on, week by week, the offensive line is getting better, and he's getting more confidence in himself, and he's been showing that he's getting better and better. He hasn't really been regressing. And then getting help from Chad and from Ramirez and from Little, he is doing a great job there. All the aspects of the game, the running, the passing, blocking, so like that, especially on offense, pass blocking, all that kind of stuff. It's come together. It's starting to come together, and they're starting to function pretty well here. And we'll just have to see if they can turn things around here once we get to the to the next part of their careers here at Highland. All right, so as we take a look here, we'll see that we're looking at some defensive numbers here, and it looks like I said, this defensively this year, it looks like I said, we've been doing pretty well here. There's some areas in our game still defensively is still an issue, and we can try to work on that here as we move along here. As I'm trying to grab this water bottle here, but anyway, we're trying to see here. There you see some defensive numbers there, and it looks like it's pretty good, decent year for a lot of teams with defensively wise. For us, like I said, it's been a magical year. I'm hoping it'll get better, and it should get better here as we move along here, because we do have some pretty good teams that we could actually do some damage to. We'll look at the schedule here in just a bit. But there you see some of the numbers there. A couple of kick returns here this season, not a lot. Of course, that very few. Some kick returns happens from year to year. You may get like 4 or 5 players that run one back. For us, we didn't have anybody run anything back yet. We don't have that really good punt returner. We just haven't found that one individual just yet. We're hoping that we can get to something like that here in the next, hopefully next season or something, or we can bring somebody in here, or maybe someone will have a breakout year or something. But take a look here at the schedule. Of course, there you see the first 4 games, all wins. The toughest win I probably would say that we've had to get was the first game there of the season against Iowa, 42-39. Just a tough game there. I think by far the easiest was probably the Virginia Tech game, or actually Hawaii. Hawaii, we kind of ran through them pretty well there. So, but yeah, we got a bye week this week, and then of course next week we take on Baylor, who have a winning record of 2-1. Then we're off again, but we'll have another episode of Highland Scotties Sports Talk where we'll just kind of focus in on the recruiting and the recruiting trail there. And then we go hot and heavy into the Big 12 as we have a team not with a winning record right now. We go to Morgantown. We take on West Virginia, who are currently right now 1-2 for the season. And then we take on Kansas the following week at home. And we go to Manhattan, take on Kansas State, back home against Iowa. And then we go on the road there to a ranked right now TCU in week 12. Week 13, again, there you see Texas. We'll go back down to Texas. This time we go to Austin against a team that's not winning right now. Currently, we're 1-2, and we're going to try to see if we can do something against them. And then, of course, the final game of the regular season is against BYU. We've played them many times here, and this year we our first time playing as 2 Big 12 opponents. We'll be there at home against BYU. In that one, that's a late game there for us. So, can we run the table? Can we beat everybody here in the Big 12? I would say probably not. We're going to have a tough time probably with TCU. Really, I mean, honestly, we could have trouble with anybody. But I think TCU will be probably be a tough game there. Those others, maybe not so tough. If we do, I mean, I can see us winning those games. But they can be some nail biters there. Just depending on how well we how we want to play on those days, and how well or how not well those teams are playing entering those games, and especially with how they are affected before they play us. So look at the coaching tree here. We don't show this too often. The RC coach Teddy Bonds is currently game manager level 14. This is something I just want to show. It's been a while since I actually showed this. Recruiting level 22. Remember, he is a team builder. He likes to put teams together here, and talking to him about that more so. I was trying to hopefully that CG was going to be able to talk to him more about that, but of course, Coach Bonds was so busy trying to prepare for that game against LSU. He is a team builder, and this, I talked to him something about that, and he says, this year hasn't been that traditional feeling of a team build that he's been putting together here for his team, because he feels like he got shortchanged, and not many schools are, not many people out there are taking this school seriously. He's won it 3 out of 4 years, so you would think he would have droves of players, and he's had so far. He's actually, it's been a while since he's had some transfers come in, but he's hoping that he can get these offensive linemen come in here and help out and be able to produce pretty well for him, because he says that is crucial right now for them. Is those we need that offensive line help, which would be greatly appreciated and greatly needed right now. But there you see our defensive coordinators there, of course, doing pretty well there for ourselves, and of course our defensive coordinator, our offensive and defensive coordinators doing well there. But overall, it's a great season so far here, 4-0. Could it get better? Yes, it can. Can it turn the other way around? Yeah, easily. Pretty quick. But I think with this team having a level head here and just stay within their game. I know in the last game, personally, I kind of went outside the box and then kind of pushed it too much, especially towards the end there. And I will say that's my fault. But for the most part, if we just stay within the confines of what our team psychology, or the makeup of our team, and what we believe in and what we can do, and how our playbook plays out for us and what it does for us. If we stay within that, we should have a pretty good season. We should be able to run the table easily. But will we have have some hiccups here and there? Yeah, probably so. Right now we can't. I think one of the things that I've got to keep out of my mind here is not worry about trying to get Reed the Heisman Trophy. That's something that there's something that's just gonna have to come to us, and the only way it's gonna come to us is if we play well and do well with his passing. So we'll see how things shape up here coming up in week 6. Fortunately, we did a preview of that, but we could I don't know, I could bring up a quick video about that here between now and then. But week 6, it will be BYU, or excuse me, not BYU. It'll be Baylor. Baylor Bears. We'll take them on in week 6. Should be a good one, and that'll be the first our start of our Big 12 play as now Big 12 members here in NCAA 14. So stay tuned for that and much more here on the channel. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more here of Team Builder, the Highland Scotties. Hit that bell notification so you guys can be notified of this series or any other series on the channel. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Discord. Check us out on Patreon. If you'd like to be a Patreon member and be a supporter of the channel, be greatly appreciated. You don't have to, but it starts as low as $1 a month, and that gets you a spot on the team, and of course some other cool perks along with it. So again, guys, thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for more as we get ready for week 6 and take on Baylor, taking on those Bears there, and it should be a good one. I cannot wait. As always, wear a mask, stay safe, keep yourselves and each other healthy, and I will see you guys next time.